So the melacha, the work category of borer, of selecting, permits you to select food as long as you're following three conditions. One is that you're using the food immediately. It's not that you're selecting food that you're going to be using tomorrow or in many hours. Another is that you're doing it either with your hand or a fork and a knife, not with something like a strainer that's professionally designated to filter stuff. And finally, that you're taking the good from the bad. You're taking what you desire from what you do not desire, and not the opposite. So those are the basic guidelines, and there are many questions that come into that. For example, the rule of borer only applies when something is a mixture. So the question is then, what is a mixture? So peas and carrots are obviously a mixture, but what if you have a hard-boiled egg in water? Then, even though they're together, they're not really a mixture because clearly the egg is separate from the water and they're easy to discern one from the other. And so it gets tricky sometimes when you want to figure out what's considered a mixture and what's not considered a mixture. Another thing is, borer only exists if you have at least two distinct kinds of food. So peas and carrots obviously are two separate kinds of food, but what if you have large pieces of meat and small pieces of meat, and you only like the large ones or the small ones? Then what do? And so so the rabbis say it has to be two completely separate kinds. So if you have large pieces and small pieces, that's not considered borer. You can, they're not considered a mixture, and therefore you can separate all the large pieces from the small pieces. Even dark meat and white meat, according to many rabbis, is not considered two separate kinds, even though you may have a preference for one or the other, since that they're both chicken, or large oranges and small oranges. Clearly, they're the same kind, and the laws of borer don't apply in that case. Another thing is, in borer, again, you have to be taking the good from the bad, and so if you are just taking the bad from the bad or the good from the good, and you're taking both of them, then that is considered okay. The biggest question of borer comes up when eating things with bones, especially fish, where it's hard to pull out the bone without doing this process of selection. So what many people do is they'll hold down the bone and then they'll take the meat that they want, in which case that they are taking the good from the bad. However, others consider it permitted even to take the bones out, since the process of borer states that anything that's done as a normal way of eating, and that's the way people eat it, is considered permitted. Thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to leave any questions or comments down here, and please remember to subscribe. Thank you.